John McDonald, as you said, and I'm the CEO and founder of The Good. We are a conversion rate optimization firm. So, what that means is we help online brands to convert more of their visitors into buyers. And we generally do that through data science. So, helping them understand where people are dropping off in the funnel, why they're doing that, and using a scientific approach, generally around A/B testing and other data sources that we can collect to help improve the online experience, and that results in additional online sales. The number one goal is always new business, right? But it's also something that becomes very hard to track through podcasting. So there's a lot of other goals that we've kind of attached ourselves to that are leading indicators of new business. That's the better way, I think, for us to have been thinking about it. The first and foremost is to generate more content, right? And not just the podcast we're recording. The podcast we're recording is great in its own medium, and it helps other people share that knowledge that we have because we're experts, we're a knowledge-based firm. And so with that in mind, we want other people to kind of be associated with the Goods brand and help promote that brand a little bit. And podcasting is a great way to do that. But also what we're able to do is take snippets of what I say on podcast and use that as a post on LinkedIn. We're also able to write articles. We rewrite about 2,000 words a week that we share with an email list. And so one of the ways we've looked at that is as a metric of how many podcast listeners can I get to sign up for our email list and just stay in front of them. So all of those are kind of leading indicators for new business, and they also help our marketing efforts where I can be on a podcast for 30 minutes, an hour, and that's all the time it takes for me. But then our team is able to listen to that and dissect it and produce a lot of other content from that, which is really, really helpful.
And what call to action are you using on your interviews right now, John?
Well, two things. I can let people know that they can sign up for our insight emails, as I just mentioned. But lately, over the past 6 months, I've actually just been giving out my personal email address. It's like, you have any follow-up questions, just email me. And I always say, I try to read every email that comes in my inbox and respond. And that's going to be the best way to directly get a hold of me. I figure if somebody does that versus hitting me up on Twitter or something else, now I have their email address. I can actually continue to follow back up with them if they turn out to be a good lead. So that's been pretty effective. I've gotten, I've only been doing this for 6 months. I've gotten probably a dozen or so people that have emailed me and said, "Hey, John, I'm really interested in what you had to say here. Let's set up a call to kind of talk about how you might be able to help our business." And that's a really direct lead coming into my inbox versus asking somebody to fill out a contact form or do something else. And have I gotten a little bit more spam because of that? Yeah, but you know what? It's worth the trade-off to me. And I just clear out my spam once a day, and it takes 5 minutes, if that, to get through a few messages, and I'm good to go. That's been a really good call to action, surprisingly. There's been a number of results. I think the big headliner has been that I actually a couple weeks ago got back from before everything kind of shut down, got back from LA, and I was invited to speak at YouTube's headquarters for an e-commerce event. So this is basically all of the e-commerce brands who are spending lots and lots of money to advertise on YouTube. YouTube will bring them in to speak and learn for the day from each other, but also bring in experts and basically offer them up, wine and dine them for a day, and offer them free education and to help them continue to propel their businesses. And one of the topics that they were really interested in is, hey, all these people are spending tons of money to get visitors to their site with YouTube ads. How do they make sure that those people convert once they're on the site? And so I gave an hour talk based on that to this audience, which, as you can imagine, is a great lead gen for me. I'm in front of brands we all know and love, and it was just a really good experience. But that all started because I was on a podcast with an agency, which normally I don't want to be on podcasts with other agencies. They're not my target market for the most part, right? Sometimes those agencies are marketing to the same type of customer that we are at the Good. So I try to look for those synergies when possible. But what I found was one of the agencies that I had been about a year ago actually was on their podcast. They connected with me and we've been staying in touch a little bit. And they said, "Hey, we're sponsoring this event at YouTube. And YouTube's looking for somebody to speak on conversion optimization. I think you'd be great." I shared with them your podcast episode that we did together, and they were all in. They want you. They want to fly you down for the day and come present to these people. And the value of that can't be understated, or overstated, I should say. And so I think that's been the big headliner. There's a lot of other. We've been able to grow our organic traffic. We've been able to grow our email list. Of course, the handful of leads that I mentioned earlier. So there's a lot of metrics out there that are really, really hard to 100% attribute to podcasting because it's not an owned channel, and the metrics are, while getting better, are not 100%. But I will say I've been doing this for probably a year and a half now, and I don't have any ideas of stopping at this point. We're obviously seeing enough effort pay off from doing so.